Long before we were using ChatGPT to plan vacation itineraries and find airline deals, airlines were tapping into artificial intelligence, several using AI with pricing and scheduling. Travel tech company FLYR, FLYR, is at the forefront of AI and travel, having just completed one of the largest fundraising rounds in the sector ever at just shy of $300 million. And their CEO, Alex Mann, joins us now on the heels of that. Good to see you, Alex. We will discuss the round in just a moment. First, I want to have a little bit of fun. I want to get you to weigh in on the now viral airplane video. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you haven't, I will describe it. You've got a passenger just losing his mind on board an airplane because the person in front of him reclined. The passenger's jamming his knees into the seat. He's shaking the seat. What has happened? Are we not allowed to recline anymore? What's your take on the back and forth?
I think you're totally allowed to recline, but I do think that other passengers should probably have bought the extra legroom seat if they care that much about not being bothered by other travelers. And we're a company that enables just that. We're helping them buy that upgrade of that extra legroom seat right before they travel. And it sounds like they're definitely the kind of passenger that should have taken us up on that offer.
That is an excellent transition. I didn't see it coming. If someone reclines in front of you, do you shake their seat? Do you tap their shoulder, or you just stay there and be quiet?
I tend to be quiet. I think I like to think I have better manners on board a plane than most other travelers, but I try to not judge as much as I can.
I'm with you, man. All right. So it was a record travel summer season. All 10 of the busiest travel days ever for the TSA occurred since May. It's stunning, really. Yet with the exception of that CrowdStrike debacle, it really was relatively quiet, almost incident-free. Is AI responsible for that at all?
No, I think that's mostly luck. Travel is still running on 1980s technologies, right? The reservation systems that are powering the world's largest airlines are running on 1980s mainframe, 1980s standards and technologies. And it's a miracle that they continue to function with minimal disruption at the scale that we're currently at in the world. Travel is 11.4% of global GDP, but the technology that powers it is 30 to 40 years old, sadly. And that's really what FLYR is trying to solve.
Hold on a minute. We are talking about multi-billion-dollar public companies that you say are still using systems from the 80s. Why? How is that possible?
So if you're an airline, you've got 300 different technology systems for your accounting, your payments, your load and balance management of the plane, your crew planning, and a bunch of other things, check-in, baggage tags, and everything you can imagine. So there's a lot of systems out there, and these systems have all been tied into, over the years, of these legacy technologies that came to be in the 1980s and the 1990s. And these monolithic mission-critical systems have become such a spaghetti of technology that it's very, very hard to unwind. Combine that with the fact that there are really only one or two companies in the world that have been providing these technologies. There's been very little incentive to innovate. Costs have been inflating, and airlines have been treated quite poorly by these technology companies. And so FLYR came into the market to try and provide a viable alternative to that and modernize these technologies that are holding back the experience for travelers. And travelers have had enough. Right? Our experience in banking and healthcare and other industries have greatly improved digitally over the last few years, but travel still very much feels the same and stale compared to 10 or 20 years ago when it comes to how we book or manage our flight and our travel.
Wow, that truly is astounding. I don't want to name names, but I kind of have to. Southwest Airlines has had a couple of debacles around scheduling and moving their planes here or there, in particular when the weather turns bad. Is that because of these systems that are, in this case, very outdated?
Well, I think it's challenging. If you're a public company, if you're a multi-billion-dollar public company, you have to balance the stakes of your travelers and your shareholders. And a very large system transition for core technology, it's painful, it takes a long amount of time, and it's incredibly expensive. So it's a difficult decision to make. I think outside of buying airplanes and spending billions of dollars with manufacturers like Boeing or Airbus, it is probably one of the biggest decisions a board of directors can make to transition the core systems at the airline from a legacy technology, but it kind of works, to something much more modern. And that's why it just takes time for them to make these decisions, so it's hard to make them.
Okay, so the best you can in layman's, what is FLYR doing to help bring these companies into something near, let's just call it 2020 if it's not 2024?
Yeah, so we provide the airlines with a modern cloud technology-based reservation system. Right? So the reservation system of the airline, it holds the products the airline can sell, the inventory or availability of those products, the bookings of passengers, passenger data, payments data. It's the core system of record around which everything else is built. And by providing that, we can enable airlines to build much better experiences for travelers. Why is it that we don't have a shopping cart when you book a flight with an airline? Why is it that it's so hard to buy that extra seat next to you? Why is it that it's so hard that you have to go through all these steps to change your flight? We help improve that experience. And then lastly, coming to the AI piece, we use all the data within the airline in modern deep learning or neural networks to better forecast how revenue and demand is going to evolve and to help them determine what they should sell and how they should price it. And we work with companies like Virgin Atlantic, JetBlue, Air New Zealand, Azul, Avianca, and many others to help them optimize those decisions and create those better experiences for the traveler. And as a result, the airline makes more money and the traveler ends up being more loyal and more satisfied with the experience.
I want to split those two things up. And first, how does it make the airlines more profitable?
So the core product that an airline sells, the flight, it's a low single-digit margin product in a good year. Right now, we're in the high single digits when it comes to margin on flights. Typically, you're in the low single digits, 2-3% in a good year. That means that airlines need to find ways to monetize other pieces of the journey. And you're starting to see this with seat upgrades, extra legroom, baggage, priority passes, lounge access. But the airlines also need to have the ability to start selling you that hotel, the car transfer, activities and destination. And those products will help the airline, by merchandising those products with technology like ours, airlines can grow their revenue quite materially and improve their gross margin performance.
And now on the customer side, are you essentially creating an Amazon-like shopping experience? And tell us how that plays out from a customer perspective.
Absolutely. So what we do is we provide the airline the technology to create mobile apps and web experiences and kiosks at the airport that are actually intuitive and that feel more like Amazon or that feel more like Shopify checkout than they do like the websites and the e-commerce experiences from the early 2000s. So we provide a shopping cart. Like, why is it you've never seen a shopping cart on an airline website? Why is it that I cannot combine different flights, different passengers, different seats, insurance products, non-air products like hotels? Why can't I put them in one shopping cart to actually check out my trip? That's one example of what we introduce. Similarly, we simply speed things up. Instead of staring at a screen with a loading bar for minutes at a time, we are very instant in confirming your bookings. We make it very easy for you to change your booking, even while you're in destination or on your way. And we make it very easy for airlines to sell the products you care about, like insurance, for example, for your trip. And we make it very seamless and very easy for the traveler. So that mobile app from the airline is going to feel more like modern banking experiences like Revolut or PayPal in terms of their snappiness, in terms of their simple and ease of use versus what we've been used to over the many years with airlines.
All right, let's come full circle now back to that nearly $300 million round, arguably the largest ever in the travel tech sector. How are you putting that money to work?
Yeah, so FLYR has raised close to $500 million in total. Most recently, the $295 million we raised from Westgap, BlackRock, Vista, and the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund. And that capital is being used to build out these systems. Because we are replacing systems that were built over the course of decades, we need to make sure that we support all the long tail capabilities of those systems to replace them. And so most of this capital is going to R&D. It's going into our products. To make sure that we can serve our customers best over time.
And you plan to expand beyond airlines into hotels. Tell us about those plans.
Yeah, so we already manage the pricing of over 100,000 hotel rooms globally, and we're growing quickly. The challenges that airlines face in terms of the core systems under the hood, their experiences for travelers, those challenges are very similar in every other travel vertical, whether you're talking about hotels, rental cars, cruise lines, railway companies, and the like. And FLYR's vision really is to provide this operating system that is able to modernize the experience and the systems at every major travel company, starting and being very, very focused on airlines, but longer term moving across other verticals as well.
All right, Alex Mads is the CEO of FLYR, joining us from San Francisco. Hopefully you've got a full lay-down flight ahead of you. I know those can be long from San Fran, and no shaking that seat ahead of us. We agree on that. Alex, thanks.
Thank you, Dave. Have a nice day.
You too.